focus on your journey. Because if you're not focused on your journey, then who are you paying attention to? Who is it that you're actually focused on? Like, you're letting your mind run in circles because you have your mind in the wrong places, in the wrong people, in the wrong energies, when you should really be focusing on what it is that you have going on in your life and what you're doing. Why even focus on anyone else? Do you understand that you are you? That you are the most important person to yourself? I understand that your mind sometimes can't stop. That your mind is something that is racing all the time. It's constantly thinking. But understand that you are not a person that has to react off of your thoughts. You can choose the other way, which is not react, but instead accept everything that's going on. Understand everything that's going on, embracing everything that's going on, being aware of everything that's going on. Just because you're accepting everything that's going on doesn't mean that it has to be true or false. It doesn't mean that it has to be something that you have to consider as truth or false. It just simply is what it is. People live a certain way. People do certain things. Things are the way they are because that's just the way they are. You can come up with so many different reasons for why you think things are the way they are. But truthfully, that's just the reality of nature. That is the reality of life as it is. There is nothing that you can do out of yourself to manipulate what is outside of your control. There's nothing that you can do to try to manipulate the way things are outside. You shouldn't let the outside affect your inner peace. Don't let any outside factors affect your inside world. Then that's where you start to make the mistake. When you let the outside affect your inner world, you're making a mistake. Because now you're letting the outside influence your internal being. And it's disrupting your inner peace. I want you to think about your inner peace and your mind as an ocean. And there are thoughts constantly pouring into that ocean of your mind. All those droplets are falling into your mind. All those thoughts, those droplets are falling into that ocean of your mind. And then they just disperse. But they're there. You can't ignore them. And when your mind starts going in so many loops and so many circles, when you start to let your mind just run absolutely wild, and you start to let it affect the way you speak, the way you act, the way you feel, then that's when the ocean of your mind, that's when it causes turmoil. That's when it causes natural disasters. That's when the waters start to get rapid. They start to get super ugly. And then that's where the negative thoughts stem from. You understand this, right? That this is what happens. Is that you let your mind run wild enough to create feelings that dictate your actions and what you do outside. Then you start to project everything that's going on inside to the outside world, thinking that you can manipulate the outside world and control it so it can be okay for you. The only way that your mind will become at peace, the only way that that ocean becomes at peace is when you no longer let those thoughts affect the way you move, the way you act, the way you feel, everything. When you can finally take back the control of the way you act, you feel, those reactions that you have, when you take back that control and you just let yourself relax, release all the tension, accept everything, notice everything, and accept it for what it actually is, that's when you can finally take a deep breath and be at peace with everything going on. Because the truth of the matter is, you don't have to react to everything that's going on outside. You can be absolutely 100% okay with everything going on. But when you feel like you have to be a certain way, or you put your expectations on things going on outside of your control, that's where you let the outside world manipulate your inside world. The more you want to control the outside, the more the outside controls you. You don't realize that until sometimes it's too late. You don't realize that in the moment when you're trying to control everything, but instead when you finally have the time to reflect on everything afterwards, that's when you realize that the outside world was manipulating you the whole time when you were trying to manipulate the outside world the whole time. What you have to do is manipulate your inside world, because that's the only thing that you can do. The only thing that you can do is control everything that's going on inside. Control those thoughts. Don't let them run rampant up there. Know that you have the absolute power to do this, and you're the only one that can do this for yourself. No one else can. As much as you want to take the help from everyone that you know, it's great to take advice. Absolutely great to educate yourself. But know that ultimately, you are the one that allows yourself to control everything that's going on. You are the only one, the ultimate one, that can control everything in your inside world. Give yourself that inner peace, that calmness that you desire. You are the only one. And so by doing this, you start to prioritize yourself now. You start to prioritize your inner peace. You start to focus on you instead of putting your attention on everything else but you. Just know that when you put your attention on everything else except for you, you become lost. You lose yourself in everything going on. That projection that you're doing, you begin to lose yourself. So much to the fact that you start to say things, act a certain way that you know is not truly of your nature. That is not your demeanor. That is not your character. That's you trying to project your feelings, your emotions on the outside world. And that's not your place. Your place is inside. Your inner peace, your consciousness, your spirit. Allowing yourself to sit with everything. Be calm. Have a steady mind. Let everything just happen. But just know that it's okay to let everything happen. That you don't always have to find a way to control the situation. Be okay with not controlling the situation. Be okay with being uncomfortable. You have to be okay with being uncomfortable. Because life is always uncomfortable sometimes. Life can be uncomfortable sometimes. But you have to be okay with that. You're not always going to be where you want to be. You're not always going to do what you want to do. Get yourself to a place where you're okay with not doing what you want to do. You're okay with not being where you want to be. Be okay with that. So you can have full control of everything going on inside. And so that the outside world does no longer manipulate your inside. Don't let the outside world have a firm grip on your inside world. Don't let the outside world manipulate you. Because you know what that can do to you. You've had it happen before. And you know it gets dangerous when you fully let it slip out of your grasp. It gets real dangerous. So don't let it get like that anymore. Be different this time. Take back that control. And start focusing on you more. Start focusing on what you want to do now. By being a person that's constantly at peace with themselves about everything and anything. Because everything will be as it is. And has always been as it is. But you've been the one that's been creating those circumstances for yourself, whether they're good or bad, whatever the way you see it, you've always been the one. Not anyone else. Not this person or that person, not this circumstance or that situation. It's always been you. And when you finally understand that, and you can finally take back that control that you've always wanted for yourself, you can finally have that back. It's granted back to you. You are finally gifted it back to you. Everything I just said is simple, not easy. I love y'all, man. Peace, y'all.